All right. Can someone remind me what we know about parallel lines? Not about perpendicular, about parallel lines. What did we learn last week?
They have the same gradient.
They have the same gradient. Correct. Same gradient. Nice and simple. So if you could find the gradient of one, then you can find the gradient of the other ones because they've got to be the same. So nice and simple. If something is parallel, they've got the same gradient. Easy. So technically, m1, so your gradient of 1 is equal to the gradient of the other one. Simple. m1 equals m2. Perpendicular lines. What does perpendicular mean? What does perpendicular mean?
When they cross in a right angle.
Good job. Perpendicular lines actually cross at a right angle. So in other words, they're 90 degrees. Perpendicular lines meet at a right angle or meet at 90 degrees or meet at a corner, however you want to think about that. But that's what perpendicular lines are. And what they've worked out, if there are two lines that are perpendicular, then if you multiply the gradients, so m1 times m2 of the two lines, it always equals to -1. If you multiply two gradients of perpendicular lines, they equal to -1. But the more, I guess, the better way of seeing it is if you know one of the gradients, it's the negative reciprocal of the other. So negative reciprocal. Now let me show you what that means. So before we continue on this exercise, let's do a few. Wait, sorry. Just to understand the whole idea of negative reciprocal. Before I start, can someone tell me what reciprocal means in this context? What does a reciprocal mean? What does reciprocal mean? No one knows?
Is it like when they like swap?
Yeah.
I know.
Flip, swap. I think I get what you're saying. So yeah, I'll give that to you. So reciprocal just means if I had a over b as a fraction, the reciprocal to that is b on a. So good word to learn because you'll be using that for a fair bit in your high school life. So again, if I had the number 3 over 4, what's the reciprocal of 3 over 4? Easy. And here's a tricky one. What if I had 2? What's the reciprocal to 2?
1/2.
Okay, you saw it. Yeah, so don't forget, you guys, 2 is over 1. So if you're flipping 2 over 1, it becomes 1 over 2. So all you're trying to do with these is negative reciprocal, not just reciprocal. So that means if I gave you the gradient of one of them, if I said the gradient of one line is 3, what would the gradient of the other one be? That is perpendicular. Liam, you want to try it? M1 equals 3, M2 equals?
Oh, 1/3.
Close, negative reciprocal.
Oh yeah, okay.
So
Negative
negative
1/3.
1 over 3. Let's do it again. If I gave you gradient is 5 over 4, Gab, tell me the answer for the perpendicular gradient. Negative reciprocal. Gab?
Oh, yep.
Yep. Very easy.
Wait, hold on.
Are you
I'm
following
bit
through?
confused.
Reciprocal. So 5
Reciprocal.
over 4, flip 5 over 4. What's the
Oh,
answer?
oh, 4/5. Okay.
But then what do you have to put?
Um,
Negative.
Yeah, negative.
All right, let's do another one. Don't go anywhere. Hold on. If one gradient is 2 over 3, what's your gradient of your perpendicular?
-3/2, right?
Yeah, easy, easy.
Yeah, it's easy.
All right. Let's do a few more. Let's make sure. Um, Jamal, is Jamal here? Jamal, are you here? Let me make sure who's not here. Jamal and Darius. Okay. Samuel, you can help us out real quick. Go ahead. If one
Okay.
gradient is 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 6 on 7, what's your gradient of your perpendicular?
-7 on 6.
All right, easy stuff. So we're understanding the idea of these now. Let's do. I'll take it up in a different way now. Jenna, if I gave you the gradient of 1 is -5 on 4, what's your gradient of your perpendicular?
4 on 5.
Yes. Because the negative of a negative is positive. So it's just 4 on 5. You ignore the negative. Great work. So what you guys just realized from that exercise is pretty much one of them has to be negative only. They both can't be negative, obviously. So to me, it's easier to do this negative reciprocal stuff than it is to tell you the formula you're going to probably learn at school, like m1 times m2. That's a bit complicated. So let's just do 2 more. Make sure it's done and dusted. M1 equals -4. M2 equals, let's go for, who should we try? Annabelle, if M1 is -4, what would M2 equal to? Annabelle? No, can't hear me. Chateau, can you tell me? -4, perpendicular. Again, is it positive or negative? Let's start with that.
It's negative,
Well, but it is already a negative.
so it'll be positive.
So it'll be a positive, and then flip 4. What would you do if you're going to flip 4?
Will be half.
Half? You mean a quarter,
Oh,
right? It's a 4 over 1.
oh okay.
True or not? If I
Yeah.
told you flip 5, what are you going to say?
1/5.
Yeah, flip 6.
1/6.
All right, we get that? Because don't forget, they're
Yeah.
over 1s.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Good. And one more of these, or a few more of these, make sure. Grace, let's try this one. M1 equals -3 on 7. What's your answer, Grace, for that one, for your perpendicular?
7 over 3.
Yeah, all right, easy. And like I said, let's just do a few more, make sure they're all done. M1, Jamie, 8 on 9. M2 equals? Jamie? No. Shane? 8 on 9. Perpendicular? Tiger? No. No quiet people. Liam? 8 on 9.
-9/8.
And then I'll do the last one. M1 equals, if it was, actually, I'll just to be annoying, right? I want to show you guys something that I know all of you are very scared of. When all of a sudden it changes. What if I told you M1 was Sam? Well, the idea is it's just -1 over Sam. I know you guys get that, So then if I gave you m1 is equal to, I don't know, let's call it root x. You won't see this in your course. You might see this in year 11 and year 12, of course. But like if you start to understand the concept and you wouldn't change it. So Jenna, do you want to give me the answer for root x? Don't change what we've already done. What would your answer be, Jenna?
Um,
Negative
just-
flip.
is
Tell
it
me.
just negative root x?
Oh, that look at it. Look at it. Do you feel like you did what we've been doing? Negative, I agree. Think about what you had to do. You want to give it one more shot? Negative.
Is it just negative x?
No,
No. Okay.
you've changed. And that's what I'm worried about. That's why I wanted to show you guys these. I wanted to tell you, look, don't ever try to change, regardless of what the question is. Don't try to change. So what was the rule that we were doing? We said negative reciprocal. It
Oh,
doesn't
wait,
look
is
like.
Is
Go
it
ahead.
just negative root?
Oh,
No.
negative. Look up here. Look what I wrote with Sam.
Negative root over 1? No.
Other way around. 1, negative 1
Oh,
over
right, okay.
what?
Root x.
Yeah.
Okay.
Isn't that what you've been doing? Like, look at where is it? Look at this one. It was negative 4, and then you did positive, obviously, and then 1 over 4, 1 over the number. Look at this. 5 went to the bottom. The 4 went to the top. 6 went to the bottom. 7 went to the top. So this root x is technically over 1. Root x comes to the bottom. The 1 goes to the top. And I like showing you guys these things because I know sometimes, like I said, maybe next year, year after that, I don't know when, but you will get questions that will be like this, and it all of a sudden seems like everyone gets it wrong. And they're only getting it wrong because they feel like I've got to do something different than what I'm used to. And I'm hopefully showing you don't change. So last one, Jenna, you might as well do it again. If I told you it's pi, what would you say m2 is?
Negative 1 over pi?
Yeah, right? That doesn't it make sense?
Yeah.
Now that you think about it, it's just the rule is negative reciprocal. I've got to flip it. Great work. Done. Now those were an easy exercise. You will get them in your exam, but I've got all the hard ones here. So what we've got to do first, what we have to do first is find the gradients. So here we're given these lines. I haven't even given you the gradients just yet. So it says show that the lines are perpendicular. For them to be perpendicular, we know that they literally have to be negative reciprocal of each other. So if one of them's 3 over 4, the other one needs to be negative 4 over 3. Then they would be perpendicular. If they're not perpendicular. So when I've got these two lines, I need to find gradients. So what do we know? How do we find the gradient of lines? How do I need to write these to find gradients? Someone help me out. If I've got a line, how do I find gradients? I'll give you guys a clue then.
Do you make y the subject?
Yes. Thank you. Y equals mx plus b. It's got to be in this form. You have to make y the subject. Y the subject. Exactly correct. So you guys got to remember this form, this right now is called general form. It's useless. You can't find anything from it. It's actually useless. It is actually pointless. So we don't ever use this in any kind of math moving forward. But it doesn't matter. It is what it is right now. So it doesn't help. It doesn't get us anything. Whereas this form, y equals mx plus b, at least you can get the gradient, you can get the y-intercept. It's useful. So what we have to do is change both of these to make y the subject. So let's start. Let's start from this one. If I want to make y the subject, I'm going to move this 7y over to the right-hand side to make it a positive. So it'll look like this. 5x plus 14 equals 7y. Then I'm pretty much one step away. Divide everything by 7. I get 5x on 7 plus 14 on 7 equals to y. Anyone have any questions there? This one, I'm not going to move my 5y to the right-hand side because it's already positive. I'm going to move my 7x and the minus 9 to the right-hand side. So it'll look like this. 5y, keep that there, that hasn't changed, equals minus 7x plus 9. Divide everything by 5, right? Divide by 5, divide by 5. So you end up with minus 7x on 5 plus 9 on 5. We're just about to finish it off. Jenna, again, can you tell me your gradient of this first line? M1, gradient of your first one. What is it? The gradient is, remember, y equals mx plus b. So y equals mx plus b. What's your gradient?
Is it 5?
All of it, all of it.
Oh, 5x over 7.
You don't say the x. X is,
Okay.
yeah, so just the number in front of the x,
Okay.
which is 5 over 7. Because it's not 5, there it is divided by 7. So it's a fraction that's multiplied by x. Cool. And then what's your M2? What's your gradient of your other one? This one here.
Negative 7 over 5.
Brilliant. And then it just said, the question said, show that they are perpendicular. Are these two negative reciprocals of each other?
Yes.
Yes. So I mean, the way we do it usually is we can now write M1 times M2. So these two multiplied each other will always equal to -1. And you're done. But essentially showing is talking about find the gradients of each one, and hopefully they are negative reciprocals of each other, which they are. So great work. I know we just need some more extra work with the equation sides of stuff. I know that. So we'll be doing it. That one's okay. I think I'm happy with it. It's pretty much done. Okay. A few of these, and then we'll do a full revision of the whole topic, and then we'll see exactly what we're weak in. All right. Write the gradient of any line that is perpendicular to y equals 2x minus 3. So right now the gradient is, Jamal, right now the gradient is what? For this equation. Jamal, you there? No. Let's try Shane, are you there? All right. Samuel, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yep, let's go. Gradient of this one right now, M1. This one.
Would be,
The gradient right now I'm saying.
So do we just make like y the subject? So,
Yeah, it already is a subject.
Ah.
You just want to find the gradient, which is the letter in front of the x.
Oh, so
Sorry,
2.
the number in front of the x. 2. If it's in this form. This one's not in that form, so we're going to make y the subject.
Yeah.
But this one's already in it. Y is a subject, so you don't need to do anything to it. So m1 is 2. What if we wanted the one that is perpendicular to it? The other one. The second one. So negative reciprocal of 2.
Would be negative 1/2.
Bingo. Let's try it again with B. Samuel, let's try it again with B. Right now, that's not in this form. Y equals mx plus b.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do?
Bring the 2x over.
We're going to bring the 2x over. So let's do that up here somewhere. So you get 3y equals negative 2x plus 6. The 6 doesn't change, but the 2x becomes a negative because you're moving it to the right-hand side. Yes. And then?
Yes. And then the gradient would...
Ooh.
wait. Divide everything by 3.
That's better. Now, what's your gradient of this first one?
Negative 2/3.
Good. And obviously the one we actually want.
Plus, is 3/2.
Done. So you guys can see it's a fair bit of work. So you need to really know when you see this question, step 1, I need it in this form. Step 2, I need to find the gradient of the original one. So negative 2/3. Step 3, I can find my perpendicular now by flipping the original gradient. Excellent work. So I think the biggest thing you want to take out of lines is general form is useless. So this one, it's useless. Unless they ask you to use it or to write it in it, don't bother thinking that it's going to be useful for you. The one that is useful is always this one here, because you can get your gradient from it. All right, good work. Let's try G. Let's try G with Alvaro. I know you would have missed a bit of this, but tell me, do you know what the gradient is? The number in front of the x. So what's your gradient? The number in front of the x.
I'm not sure.
This number right here.
Oh, okay. Negative 2/3.
Good. And then can you now find me the perpendicular, which is what? Negative flip this.
Oh, 3/2.
3/2. Flip. Let's try it again, Alvaro, just to make sure. H, what's your gradient right now?
-2.
-2. What's your gradient of your perpendicular?
1/2.
Yeah, it's harder to see these ones. I get it. All right, cool. All right, let me see some harder ones. Let's wait. Let's do. Those 4. Okay. Find the gradient and its perpendicular. Okay. Let's put a note here. Don't forget y equals mx plus b. All right. So let's try this one. Jamie, let's work with this one together. You ready? Jamie, you there? What's happening here? I've got to contact all these or their parents. Gabriel. Gab, you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Let's do it. 3x minus y minus 1 equals 0.
Yep.
We need to make y the subject.
Yeah.
So
and then,
what are you going to move?
move y to the right.
Correct. 3x minus 1 equals y. That's straight away y equals mx plus b already. So what's the gradient of the first one?
3
And obviously, what's your gradient of your perpendicular?
minus 1 over 3.
Done. Thank you so much. Question 2. Question 2. 2x minus 5y plus 1 equals 0. Jenna, let's go again. What are you going to do?
You're going to move the negative 5y to the right.
Next line. What do? You don't want the 5?
You divide everything by 5.
Good job. So essentially you have 2 on 5. See, just knowing that, can you see how the number in front of the x is no longer 2x? It was 2x, or it was 2, sorry. Now it's 2 over 5, and then x. So just be aware of that. The number in front is 2 over 5. Okay, what's your gradient of your original now?
2 over 5.
And then your perpendicular?
Negative 5 over 2.
Oh, we're too good at this. Question 3. What's question 3? 12x plus 5y. Samuel equals 0. What do you do with this one?
You make y the subject, so you bring 5y over to 0, which
You reckon?
becomes negative 5, 0.
But why would you do that? Why wouldn't you move the 12x and the 3? Look, it doesn't matter. But I would prefer you guys remembering to move the positive case. I'm only trying to get you into the habit for your future years. It doesn't matter this year. It will matter next year. So I'd rather just go, let's keep y positive as much as you
Okay.
can.
Okay.
If you can, all right? So it doesn't matter. You won't lose marks if you divide it properly. But I'd rather just go, let's get into the habit of it. So yeah, move the other two. So it's going to look like this. 5y equals, and then what?
Negative 12x minus 3.
Good. And then?
Divide 5 by everything by 5.
And there's a reason why I do this, by the way. I know some of you might say, hey, can I just go all over 5? You can, but then you're going to probably miss sometimes your gradients being simplified and whatnot. So don't try to do it all over 5. Do it individually, like I'm doing. Okay. And then, of course, your gradient of this and your gradient of perpendicular.
So the m1 is negative 12 over 5, and then positive 5 over 12.
Done. Great work. Question 4. X minus y plus 9 equals 0. Shane, are you there yet? Or Tiger?
Yeah.
Yep, Shane. Let's go, buddy. X minus y plus 9 equals 0. What do you want to do?
Move y to the other side,
Perfect. There it is.
and then the gradient
M1
is 1,
and then M2.
negative 1 upon
All right.
negative 1.
Well done. We have officially completed